Team Poland have to win.
Taylor standing quite deep for that first return, doing his job, just getting it back in play. That's going to be the key. How many returns can you make and get back to even in the rallies? Because you'll see a lot of that from both of these players tonight. As Mike Russell was mentioning, coach of Fritz, captain of Team USA, he knows how amazing Hurkacz's serve rhythm can be.
Just got a little sonar pip about his form in his match against Shevchenko. Of course, a rough start against Ruud, lost to Mahic in 3 sets, looked a little bit out of sorts. Hurkacz at that moment got a tough win over Billy Harris. But there were signs of life in his previous match, and he started off in a similar fashion. Mike Russell, incidentally, was in the gym yesterday with me. It was a little bit of a humbling experience, the way that he is built and what he lifts. Today, however, I was in the gym with somebody that made me look like an Olympic gold medalist. Good evening, Todd.
At least I've got one.
Ah, that's a nice little riposte. Good for you. Don't take it lying down.
Never. Yeah, I'm not in my golden days, but look, it was good to see us both sweating.
Yeah, who's going to be sweating, do you think, the most in this one?
Well, I give the lead to Taylor in this one. When you look at them both, they both got very good serves. They both hold serve well. But when you get off the ground, the forehand's bigger, more accurate, more damaging from Taylor Fritz. And I think he's more consistent at this point. You know, he's won a lot of matches this United Cup. And I think Hubie's still looking for that form, although he's starting to find it.
Taylor Fritz has made incremental progress seemingly every year, just really getting close to fully maximizing his potential. Perhaps a little more comfort at the net, finishing points a little better with the drop shot. About the only 2 areas you'd really be looking at if you're part of his coaching team. But for Hubert Hurkacz, he got out the whiteboard in the offseason and the eraser and just kind of went back to scratch, didn't he? Brought in 2 new coaches. We'll see Nicholas Massoud, who coached Dominic Thiem to the U.S. Open title, also won Olympic gold in singles and doubles in the Athens game. So he's come on board as the full-time coach, and Yvonne Lindell is the consultant who won't travel much but is adding impact. And then he rocks up here, and he's not wearing his Yonex shoes and clothes or playing with the Yonex racket. Everything's different. Adidas kit, Wilson racket. He's trying to get to the level that Taylor Fritz has gotten to, get to a major final and then some. This is that push from Hurkacz now to say, okay, I've been really good. I've been 6th in the world. How do I get better? So he's kind of jumping out of the safety boat, and he's going to swim with some sharks and see what happens. Not that Nico and Sharks, I quite like both of them, but you know what I mean. He's taking a risk is what I mean.
Big differential in terms of style. That's one beautiful thing about this game, which is why it is incredibly difficult to win Grand Slams over a couple of weeks with different weather, 7 different styles of opponents potentially. Hurkacz, yes, with the fast serve, but very, very sort of passive at times off the ground with his pace. It's about a 10-mile-an-hour differential tonight off the backhand side compared to what Taylor was feeling from Hurkacz yesterday, and about 5 off the forehand side. So Taylor's going to have more time on the ball, but he's going to have to try and produce the pace. He can produce those at will.
Actually, if you look at the average speed of shot in the United Cup for Taylor Fritz, his forehand is massive. It's enormous. 125 kilometers an hour on average. His backhand's big too at 118. In fact, his backhand matches pretty much Hurkacz's forehand speed. Hurkacz likes to absorb the pace and kind of work with his opponents. He'll get a chance to get plenty of pace coming his way today. This player still looking for some accuracy, spraying the ball a little bit early on in these rallies. A shot that's really started to come to life for Hurkacz. The forehand, it was really shaky the first couple of matches he played here. Missed a lot of forehands trying to go to that direction down the line.
Once again, signs that he has found the rhythm on the forehand side in the early skirmishes between these two. It is Hurkacz that leads 2-1. Well, we've seen Team Poland out and about at the tidal pool, but we're going to get you out and about back to the harbour, which is the aquatic playground for the Sydney Siders. About 20 swimmable beaches. There's 4 bridges across it, of course, a couple of iconic buildings there with the Opera House and the Harbour Bridge, which, of course, on New Year's Eve was absolutely packed with 1.5 million visitors coming to this wonderful place. Place where you can just look out west where we are and see the sun setting across the water. As you can see, just this is a hive of activity. It really has been well attended over these 10 days.
Food and beverage is at a premium right now as everyone refuels after the women's singles and gets ready to lock in for the men.
With over 50 wins again for a second consecutive season. 54 last year, 53 in 2024. The last American to have got a couple of back-to-back 50-win season was actually James Blake all the way back in 2006 and 2007. The success of American men right now, it's hard to believe, isn't it, that just back in 2021 in May, there was no American male ranked inside the world's top 30. 5 in the top 30 right now.
Yeah, nice to see Riley Opelka, who has been as high as top 20 in the world, coming back from pretty severe injury issues and playing in the final this evening in Brisbane as well. Big win over Novak Djokovic for the rangy American. Great to have him back in the fray. He's part of the foursome, the fearsome foursome led by Taylor Fritz with Francis Tiafoe and Tommy Paul as well, that grew up together battling in the juniors, as we see Iga and Coach Wim Fissette trying to cool down and get some of the lactic acid out of the muscles. Casey Iga needs to come back out, play some mixed. She'll be hoping to do that, I would imagine.
13-15.
Both these two players with 8 career titles. Taylor winning last year in Delray and Eastbourne. Hurkacz picking up the lone title on the clay in Estoril.
Mike Russell's been on the road with Taylor for quite some time. They do have another coach, Paul Annacone, fine player in his own right, coach of Sampras and Federer as well. He's been heavily involved with Taylor. Help him develop his game, and it's, as I mentioned, it's pretty darn near fully developed.
Things that you're going to have to do if you are going to get yourself up the ranking where Taylor is, and that's what Hurkacz is doing, is get yourself past top tenors at the major. And probably no surprise that the one time he made the semi-finals of a major, which was back in 2021 for Hurkacz, was when he managed to pick up his only couple of wins against top tenors. That was Medvedev and Federer on that occasion. He's lost his other 9. And I bring that up because that's been one of the significant changes for Taylor in recent times. Started off his career against top tenors at the majors, just the 1 win out of 15 since Roland Garros 2024, where he lost to Casper Ruud. He's 3-1 since.
Todd, what do you think is the thing that has maybe held Hurkacz back from having those big wins in majors so far?
Well, I think it's the power off the ground. You know, he doesn't have as big a shot as what, say, Taylor Fritz has. If he can get the ball back into play, I think those top tenors feel that they can cover him in every other space. We saw it a little bit even in the first match here with Casper Ruud, who, as soon as Casper described it, I'm being a goalie in football, soccer, in just trying to get the return back. Once I get it back, then I feel I have an upper hand. That's exactly what has just happened in that rally there. And I think he's got to try to find some more pace. You guys have been talking about pace off the ground, because he just gives them a little more time to, you know, find a gap and lean and step in, exactly as Taylor just did in that replay.
Well, one of the reasons pace is hard for him historically is he's also one of the flattest hitters in men's tennis off the ground.
Phenomenal tennis. So much power from Taylor Fritz early on in the exchange, but it was the perseverance that won out in the end.
Well, you can see how well Hurkacz covers the court for his size. He's big, but not able to fend off all of these body blows from Team USA. And here come the first breakpoint chances of the match. 2 of them for Taylor Fritz.
United States.
They're in an ideal situation already, Team USA. They're in an even better one right now as Fritz claims the first break. 3-2.
Cue cards yet.
Fritz is generally a wealth of information in this type of environment where the mics are hot, and he has the ear of Mike Russell. He's the one who likes to speak.
It's a nice healthy discussion between Mike and Taylor at the change of ends. I know Taylor doesn't like on-court coaching. He told me that to my face in London at the Labour Cup when I asked him about it. But when he is in the situation and there's nothing else to do, he loves to have an analytical discussion about what's happening. At the moment, he's been perfect. Hurkacz hasn't started badly. Taylor just a little sharper.
Hurkacz held the love twice, and then boom, lost 4 points. And that's what it takes.
It's going to be interesting to see what Masu and Lendl in combination decide to do with his return, Jim. He's not historically been somebody that nicks too many points off servers, particularly big servers. I feel like he could take a leaf out of Taylor's book and go backwards. Milos Raonic had his best season ever, the big server, in 2016 by going back deeper by a meter.
13 love.
I think a lot of the issues that have caused him to be one of the lower players as far as breaking serve in men's tennis, he's one of the least successful at breaking, is really more about what happens once the return's in play. It's more about, can he be damaging with his forehand? And that's where their big focus has been. That's why he changed rackets. He and Nicholas Masu told us this week that one of the big reasons that they are switching to that Wilson racket is it gives them a little bit more power and a little bit more spin, and you need the spin to control the power, right? I mean, when you're a flat ball striker, you can't swing that hard at the ball. You need topspin to be able to control pace, and he's added 5% more topspin on his forehand with this new racket and string combination he's using. That's a great first step. Now he needs time on the court to get used to it and to trust it, and then to start accelerating more and more on his forehand. He needs to add, in my estimation, 5 to 7 kilometers an hour of speed on his forehand.
Team United States.
And that's a huge amount, by the way. That's hard to do. But if you want to compete in rally with players like Taylor Fritz and go toe-to-toe with him, that's what it's going to require.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I just also wonder whether sometimes after his return he's too close. He loves to hug the baseline, as you say, because he is such a smooth hitter and rhythmic, and he doesn't necessarily hit it that hard. He can hang near the baseline and kind of use your pace. as he nicks that point for Taylor. But that point there, I almost felt was a good example of what I'm saying. When you're that close to the baseline consistently and you get good depth like Taylor did, you have to kind of massage the ball.
Well, if you have more racket head speed and you can create more power with the control of additional spin, you don't have to hug the baseline to do damage. The reason he stands in close is he's trying to replicate a more powerful shot that would take place further from the baseline, right?
40 love.
How fast you get the ball onto your opponent, it doesn't really matter if you stand inside the baseline and hit it. I don't know, pick your number, 100 kilometers an hour, and then you stand 10, 3 meters behind the baseline. You're going to have to hit it harder to replicate that. So he's doing an amazing job with what he's got. They're trying to give him something else, which is what he's going to need to lift.
Hurkacz gave Team USA the lift by taking care of the world number 2, Iga Świątek. It is Fritz that still has the advantage over Hurkacz in this opening set. Just the one game separating them, but it's a big one, the break. General gist of this changeover has been that things are pretty good for the opening 25 seconds. They didn't even speak, but Taylor felt the need to say something. He was talking a little bit about the ad side there, that he maybe can find a forehand a little bit more. And I don't know if Michael was saying the off forehand perhaps, but so far so good for Taylor Fritz.
Second service. $15 long.
Fritz waited a long time to match his peer group of Americans who had reached the semifinals of a major. Tommy Paul did it in Australia. Francis Tiafoe in the U.S. Open. Ben Shelton did it in Australia as well. And Fritz bided his time, got to the semifinals, and then went one further to the finals of the U.S. Open last year before Jannik Sinner clipped him. He was the second most famous Taylor in the building for that match because Taylor Swift came to see it as well.
13-15.
But he desperately wants to be the guy to be the next after Andy Roddick, the next American man to win a major.
Hear Taylor talk about his first celebrity crush in the diary room. They've been doing so nicely during the United Cup over in Perth, and they were asking all the players who their first celebrity crushes were. He goes, Lindsay Lohan, and there I am in the middle of my US Open final, and she goes up on the big screen. He's with Morgan Riddle these days, of course, but he said, it went through my head. Here I am in the biggest moment of my life, and she's watching me lose. Got to do more with that return.
Yeah, I'm watching Hubie's return. He doesn't look like he picks a spot. Like, he doesn't make a distinctive choice on a return. I'm going to hit this there. It's sort of, I'm just going to hit it over anywhere. He doesn't serve like that. He's got to take the same mentality that he serves with into the return. I think that would help immensely.
United States.
Well, there's an implied threat when Taylor Fritz is returning serve that if you leave something for him to rip, he will rip it. And I don't think that Fritz feels that same threat from Hurkacz, even on second serve returns. That one is just coming right back through the middle of the court. That one was a good serve. Hurkacz has had a great run as a player who's been living basically between 6 and 15 in the world for the last several years. And he can stay there playing the same way. It's going to be fascinating to see what comes of the moves that his team will make in the next 6 months as they gradually bring in new concepts. Can't do it all at once. Got it. Dropped in. Fritz stuck out a paw, and that thing found the line.
15-all.
Return position from Fritz there, right on top of the baseline for that first serve, and at 214K, that got to him in a hurry. Average speeds, first serve, fastest first serve speed, pretty big for both. Not sure why he's trying that.
14-15.
Definitely does have that shot in his locker, not this time.
30.
The deeper return position gave Fritz time on the ball to get the return in play, and then he had a wonderful lob, and yeah, this guy can knock down tweener after tweener. Didn't time that one perfectly though.
And team Poland.
Terrific first serve, gives him one last chance to try and salvage this opening set. Team USA will serve for it.
United States is 5-4.
Turner and Michael Russell happy with things. Masu is the man that is charged with trying to find a solution. The opening set pretty much playing out how we expected it to.
Yeah, I think so. You can just see Yeah, as we mentioned, if the ball gets back into play, Taylor's just got the upper hand in all of those rallies. And one of the key things that's still building for Hurkacz really is his movement. He's getting caught quite a lot going back behind. You can get him like that at the moment. That's got to do with strength and confidence because of what's happened with the knee, some surgery in the fluid and so on, and also confidence because you're not reading it as well. But that's where he needs a better weighted shot so that he isn't pushed around the baseline as much during these longer rallies.
Hopefully his mind's not drifting back to 12 months ago when he was in this exact location at the Ken Rosewell Arena. Hubert Hurkacz, of course, had a couple of championship points for Team Poland to win the United Cup against Sasha Zverev. Unable to close it out tonight. He needs to dig deep, try and turn around this encounter and potentially come back to win the mixed doubles. To 30 all a couple of times in this opening set, but it's offered an awful lot that I think will be worrying Taylor as he steps up to try and put this opening set to bed.
Ready for play, thank you.
And that's the other thing that I think they've really got to work on the return. We talked about it throughout the tournament with Hurkacz, is that he changes grip really late in the process. Just about as his opponent Taylor, he's about to make contact with the ball, he makes a grip change on the racket and he gets caught a lot of the time. That last one out wide just need to be a simple block, but he can't with the grip he's got. It's just the wrong grip. If you're going to hit a neutral one, you have to have more of a volley grip if you're going to block, and he has a full forehand grip. You can see here he starts, that's neutral there, but then the last minute he then piles it in underneath and switches it. There he goes right there. That can work on the backhand grip because he's got a lot of left hand, but it does not work for a flat block. It makes it very inconsistent, can't get the racket face on the ball. So, that's something that our cameras pick up, quite easily, and something that they need to really talk about and work on.
And 14-15.
It's not taking long for Team USA to get on the brink of an opening set. 33 minutes, set points.
First set, Team United States.
Taylor Fritz puts Team USA one set away from the United Cup. Predictor just shuffling a few more percentage points onto Taylor Fritz's chances of winning this.
Love 15.
There was Hurkacz going after the forehand in a way that before this year you just wouldn't see unless he was angry. And he wouldn't be angry the first point of the second set. He's trying to send a message there, but missed that one wildly.
Net for service.
the wrong shot from Hurkacz. Hitting that and coming in down the line with not enough speed on it is going to almost always force a difficult volley. Would have been better off going big cross court, staying back in the rally. He just, at this point, doesn't simply have enough racket head acceleration on that down the line forehand to pull that off. And that's what he did better yesterday. He didn't hit it down the line as much in his comfortable end. A bit more cross court where he is more comfortable accelerating over the low part of the net, pulling the ball across his body.
Still quite a few down the line, but as you say, a nice little uptick cross court, getting back into that rhythm. Ordinary forehand from Hurkacz opens the door here early in the second set for Taylor Fritz. Well played. Great close. Massive moment.
And this is something I think he can really do too. He doesn't build enough pressure, or he could build more pressure by utilising the net. He's so hard to pass, he's so hard to get over. He's got to find ways to build during this set and match.
Advantage.
Because what that does, it draws more errors from the opponent. At the moment, Taylor really feels comfortable at just keeping good depth from the baseline.
For service.
And when we looked at the set summary, he had not been into the net much at all, or had the opportunity to get through. Maybe that's because Fritz is so good with his depth. I mean, that he's keeping him back, but you've got to find a way to build pressure.
Just tucks that wide.
Team Poland.
Saves himself and Team Poland. Yeah, Masu, a little nod of his head, happy with that. But the bigger problem lying for Hurkacz. If I was working with him, I think this would be something that I would be looking at in terms of his position, not on his return. I think that's absolutely fine. I wouldn't mind him shuffling back a little bit, to be honest. This here is his next shot. So after he's defended a first serve from somebody like Taylor Fritz, on average tonight, that is where he's hitting his fourth shot. Well, sorry, the fourth shot of the rally, but his second shot. He has gone forward, but he's basically defending a first serve from Taylor, and yet they're feeling as though he can step up on the baseline.
Yeah, it's a byproduct of him feeling the need to take time away from Fritz in the rallies, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's almost a kamikaze move in a way against Fritz's overwhelming force after his first serve. Normally he's hitting a forehand on the next shot. So you're kind of running into a buzzsaw in a way.
Yeah, he needs to establish himself for a couple of shots and then get up there.
Fritz has won 15 out of 19 points when he's made a first serve. That's pretty darn good. Just like that. I mean, it's not going to matter where you stand when your return pops up like that. You're dead in the water. Fritz is just picking aside and pummeling it. But incrementally, I totally agree with you, Petch.
Once again, just too much firepower from Fritz, and Hurkacz unable to control it back. Just good awareness from Taylor, where Hurkacz was hugging the baseline on that 30-love point. He just pops in a nice quick 170 second serve.
He's got a good tennis IQ. He sure does. Comes from good stock. His mom, former top professional on the WTA Tour. His dad also played a little bit professionally, a college tennis coach. So it runs thick in Fritz's blood.
Love 15.
Thought you made a good point about building pressure. Taylor does a great job. We don't probably give him enough credit, particularly on second serve returns. He just doesn't give anything away.
No, I mean, he's kind of the study that Hurkacz has to look at, in my opinion. Taylor's so disciplined, yet when he is aggressive, it's controlled aggression. It's to a point that he's worked out and strategized, like the tennis IQ you've mentioned. So he does build that pressure up his end of the court.
13-15.
It's also an implied pressure when you play Fritz. If you leave anything short in the court that he has a forehand option on, the point's probably pretty much over. He might miss it, but the chances of you getting back on offense are pretty slim. He knows if he has a kill shot, he goes right for it. And that can cause people to make different choices and miss more because they're trying to prevent that from happening. There's an aura about Fritz that he has earned.
Whatever complexities he's feeling internally at the moment, though, Hurkacz solves it on serve with another ace to bring up his second game of the second set. Yeah, a little chat between those two as they're going to, I think, take you to the zoo, Taronga Zoo, out on the northern banks of.
But it is magnificent, and it's improved greatly even since then.
What a great opportunity for Hubert Hurkacz to really gel with his coach, Nico Massou, new to his team, a chance to be in the fire together here at the United Cup for multiple matches. It's like a really does accelerate the relationship in a way. That's really important to develop trust. Hurkacz with a lot of aces in 2024 per match. Texas is a little further than California, where I came from, so kudos to you. Fritz from California, but resides in Miami. It's the Monte Carlo of the United States from a tax standpoint. It's where all the players base themselves to maximize their earnings. Yeah, a lot of players down there to practice with as well. Although Fritz isn't often home, he is a warrior on the road a ton.
It's one of the few American men that doesn't mind hopping it over to Monte Carlo after that swing in Indian Wells and Miami. Years ago, became the first American to reach back-to-back last eights there in Monte Carlo since Gerolaitis all the way back in 78 and 79.
This kid just loves to compete. He's got FOMO. If there's a tournament going on, he's got fear of missing out. He wants to be there and have a chance to win it. Taylor Fritz is never going to wonder at the end of his career what could have been. He is leaving it all on the field. That's a great skill to have.
15
And there's the lighthouse for American men's tennis right now as well. That's a great attitude to have at the top of the game. All the other players can lean into it. Sums up Taylor Fritz, that one entire rally. Twice he had to reset, having been on top, and yet he still comes out on top.
It also sums up why this is such a favorable matchup for Taylor Fritz. He's one of the supreme offensive players in the sport, but he's vulnerable to the big hitters who can push him hard into the corners, and that's not what Hurkacz is capable of doing apart from the serve. So Fritz is able to stay in those rallies and eventually bring out the artillery. This is a moment here of interest for both players. A little friction on the Hurkacz service game at 15:30. Fritz trying to rough him up here.
is incredible. Such an important moment in the match, and look at this feathery touch here from Hurkacz. Special.
Team Poland.
And just like his last service game, he seals it with an ace. What a phenomenal flourish to that fifth game of this second set from Hurkacz. 3-2. Well, we did say he had some trick shots up his sleeve at times, Hurkacz, more about the tweener than it was about this kind of shot that came up, but he kind of snuck in under the radar. He had a lot of work to do from back there, Jim.
It had to be that good because Fritz dipped it down on him and was hard charging for the pass +1, the two-shot combination. He was expecting to have a forehand to hit there, and then all of a sudden Hurkacz just pulled the rug out from underneath him in that point. That was brilliant.
Game's gone in the second set, and Hurkacz doing everything he can just to keep a little bit of scoreboard pressure on Taylor Fritz. Taylor's been playing downwind for the majority of this match, but at 3-2 and suddenly 4-3, and the pressure of trying to close this United Cup out, perhaps things can turn around for Team Poland, and Iga Świątek can possibly come back out onto court and have a little redemption after a loss to Coco Gauff. Gauff, absolutely spectacular, and how good she has been in the last couple of months.
Thank you.
She's the best player in the world right now. Won the tour finals at the end of the season. Had a win in Beijing as well, and undefeated here. Sabalenka, the true world #1, and the twice defending champion in Melbourne. Looking forward to seeing some big clashes there as well. But boy, if we see anything like what we saw tonight, we're in for a real treat here this month.
Sabalenka getting her run in judged to perfection title in Brisbane today. The conundrum he hasn't solved.
Let's take a look bottom right here at these speeds on the forehand and backhand. You can see again Fritz's backhand almost as lethal speed-wise as Hurkacz's forehand. That is a huge gulf, Todd Woodbridge, between the two.
Isn't it what? And I was thinking, you know how much I always like to see a slice backhand thrown in to mix things up. But gee, you have to be careful, don't you? That one that he put to Taylor there, it just got eaten up. So you've got to find ways, to get that one short into the backhand as opposed to letting him get forehands.
And Team United States, newborns, please.
But great serving from Taylor. Gee, he's mixing it up well. First point, he's gone a lot wide, and then that game there goes bang down the tee and gets an ace. But, Hubie is giving a lot of free points on that wide serve to the forehand. He's getting his racket on it, but just getting nothing back into play. And if he does, it's then short and eaten up. So he's got to try to change up the positions. You've talked about it a lot, but he keeps going back to the same well at the moment. And if he's going to break serve or build some pressure, I think now is the time to go, okay, I'm getting nowhere with it. Change it up. Gee, the forehand down the line's good, isn't it, Jim? This one that he comes in here. So there's a few players that that are in the top 10. You think about Sasha Zverev at times as one of those. And if he could possess that one and rifle it down the line, how much better his game might be.
Great defence out of the backhand corner. And then he pierces the defence's upper net of Hurkacz with the forehand.
Fritz has such great lag on his forehand, the wrist. The racket really whips through the target. And that allows him the ability to really redirect it line, go cross. He has much more flexibility with his forehand than Hurkacz or Sasha Zverev for that matter. And it's all due to the amount of wrist that he imparts on the swing. How he holds the racket by comparison. Chokes down on it comparatively. That is sensational. That was such an important point. This guy's backhand down the line is an ATM. It just cashes checks, does it? I mean, that thing prints money.
Get the sense that he's starting to infuse his fans with a little bit of belief that he may be able to steal this second set. Keeps coming up with the right shot at the right time. Taylor is ever getting right back to work. 7-5-2 down yesterday, a couple of match points against Hubert before turning things around. Turned it around so spectacularly that Hubert didn't even finish the second set in the end, pulling the ripcord down 6-5. A rare error off return from Taylor Fritz, an opportunity slipping by.
That was rare too on a couple of factors. Just the second time that Hurkacz has served and volleyed in a clean whiff on this half volley attempt.
Advantage, Team Poland.
Great defence from Hurkacz. Terrific atmosphere. 4-3, Team Poland, second set.
Team Poland is 4 games to 3.
He got the benefit of what was a rare missed shot selection there from Taylor Fritz.
Just wondering, these second serve points, what adjustments these players might need to make, because neither of them are having enough success when they're getting second serves, and that's when you have to really capitalize, because the first serves both are so good. Thinking return to serve position for Taylor Fritz might need to go a little deeper so he can get a little more offensive, a little more aggressive with the return.
Who did better or matched his performances at all 4 of the majors last year. Quarterfinal loss to Djokovic in Melbourne to start off the season, then made the 4th round at the French Open, lost to Casper Ruud, and then was back in the quarterfinals of Wimbledon, lost to Musetti in 5 sets, as he had done against Nadal back in 2022. And then, of course, the championship match in New York that he came up second best against Jannik Sinner. Sometimes you get a player that breaks into the world's top 10 and you feel as though they're going to be transient, and then you get others that you feel are going to be fairly territorial, and that feels the way with Taylor. It doesn't feel as though he's going to leave anytime soon.
Taylor just having a few shoe issues there, doing some laces up, but I've got to say, from court side, which we've been a lot with
United States is allowed extra time to replace the shoelaces.
Mohamed Leani just explaining that. So sometimes these guys slide and break them, but Hubie has not looked this good the entire week. The ball coming off his frame is far more centred than what it's been. There's been a lot of mishits and the like, and where that ball's fallen short, you can see there that Taylor had snapped that lace, so that's why he was allowed to take a little bit more time to fix it all up. But these are good signs for Hubie in this second set, guys.
What a rally. A little hand-to-hand combat at the end. And one of the most exquisite forehand defensive slices you will see across the whole of the Australian summer.
Love 15.
Well, it's a shame you don't get bonus points for style, because that slice forehand there was incredible from Hurkacz, and the point just kept getting better and better. Look at that reflex volley, then he goes right through Fritz. It should have been worth love 40, shouldn't it? Instead, it's love 15, and then Fritz snuffs it out, back to 15 all.
Hurkacz doing an unbelievable job on anticipation to keep himself in the rally. That was an awkward overhead. Fritz handled it well in the end. Hurkacz doing a great job here, Todd, of underlining what you just said prior to the game starting.
100%. It's just a different energy from him. But look, we talked about his returns. The 2 forehand returns in this game, he's made a commitment just to have a more neutral grip and chip and block it into play, and it's been so much more effective. He's not guessing between whether he's going to drive the ball or block the ball. He's just said, okay, I'm getting it back this way. And that's too good on serve. Can't help that one, but decision making so much clearer. He's on the front foot as opposed to reacting, which he's had to do a lot to get back into the matches this week.
Team United States.
Valiant effort from Hurkacz on the returns in that game. Still no way past Fritz.
So kudos to Fritz there, but you know, we talked about building pressure. That game built it as much as any that he's played throughout the entire United Cup. The back end of this set is completely pressurized. The atmosphere is enormous from courtside. Those couple of points, the crowd just going off.
Went through a period where he was slipping a lot out wide on the Jew side with his first serve, and you can see a couple of times in the last game Taylor's been a little late to the one down the tee.
30 love.
The entertainment and intensity have gone up exponentially in the last 10 minutes. This man riding a wave of belief that he didn't seem to have in the opening set. Hurkacz 5-4, second set, still all to play for in Sydney. Let's go back in time as we can here. Back to the future.
And this is when the roof nearly comes off. Just watch this slice forehand from Hurkacz and the angle he gets on it. This is a crazy squash shot. And Fritz does incredibly well just to extend the point with a squash shot of his own. And then Hurkacz plays goalie up at the net and finishes off. Fritz can only give a wry smile. It's just, this is getting good now, really good. Great anticipation, as you pointed out. He's here, he's there. Look at all this court coverage from the big fella.
And that's overhead. Gee, that was a skilled smash to control the ball under a difficult high lob. He wraps the racket around it, makes sure he gets it into play. So good then from Taylor.
Beauty of team competitions and mixed competitions, highlighted and showcased so beautifully in the United Cup over the last 3 editions. Entertainment throughout the course of the 10 days here, but it is more important the entertainment between the lines on that rectangle, and right now it is an absolute fever pitch between these two. Hurkacz desperate to drag his side back into this final. Team USA potentially just a few games away from winning the United Cup for a second time.
Oh.
just so beautiful how Fritz lets that ball come deeper in his strike zone, takes it slightly later, and it creates that off angle of the forehand that even Hurkacz can't get his frame out to in time to handle.
After the battles of the last service game, he understands the assignment here.
40 love.
Trying to sweep through this service game.
United States. Five games old.
Had a chance to talk to Captain Mike Russell of the USA in the warm-up of this match, and he said when these guys play, and they played 4 times, there are a lot of tiebreakers that take place. These guys both serve so well. It looks like where we're headed. We'll see if we get there.
Interesting, yeah, second serves from Hurkacz to Taylor when he comes up onto the baseline and he's already signaling he's going to be aggressive. He goes hard into the forehand then. Taylor gets a little caught with his own grip. He really wants the backhand, and he'll be much sharper mentally with his shot selections out on court, so he's going bang straight into that forehand side. He's actually getting a few errors off him.
He looks unruffled with the intensity at the moment as Hubert Hurkacz rolls through that service game perfectly. 6-5. The winning account, Jim's had so many deposits from Taylor Fritz in the last couple of years that despite what happened at the opening part of that game where he missed somewhat surprisingly a couple of forehands, you know if we do end up in the breaker in a big moment, he's going to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, he's automated his game, which is what you want. When you have the weaponry that he has, his systems are locked and set to fire if he gets an open target.
I have to say, I feel as though that has crept into Hurkacz's game in the last sort of 20 minutes. It feels as though there's a little bit more security about what he's trying to achieve at the moment.
Especially on his backhand. That backhand down the line is Coco Golf. comes up the tunnel. Wondering if she's going to be involved in a live mixed doubles match here.
Out west in the beautiful city of Sydney, under the roof of the Ken Rosewell Arena, are we drawing to a conclusion, not just in the day, but at this year's United Cup.
A time.
Hurkacz and Team Poland certainly hope not. They're desperate to extend this match into a third set. Taylor Fritz would dearly love to wrap things up here in 2 sets. Fritz, a formidable force on the ATP Tour this year. 4 in the world. Hurkacz has been searching for the form that saw him 6 in the world last year. Rediscovered a little bit of it in the last few games.
Well, that was very clear, wasn't it, in the decision, what he wanted to do. Gave himself room hard through the centre deep, and it sets up that second forehand. It's the most clarity and best ball striking of this United Cup for Hurkacz.
Well, you feel at times in this United Cup he's been just shuffling sand around in a sandbox, looking for the solutions, and nothing's really changed. It's all come together.
30.
Fritz on the back foot.
3 missed first serves from the American. Real chance now for Team Poland.
And he did exactly what you've been saying, Jim, to go a little deeper on the second serves. No one was making any impact. Hurkacz is.
Love 40.
What a time to earn your first break points that are also set points.
Second set, Team Poland.
He deserves that bit of fortune. That was a flawless game up until that stage.
1. 15 love.
Hubie's stepping up to what he said a little earlier this afternoon, pitch to you and I, because you were there and I'd been in early to do a presentation rehearsal.
Nice humble brag, Todd.
Well, no, but listen, I had been given one script and I just worked through the script as I was told to do, and that script had USA winning. And Hubie came up to us in the lounge and said, "Hey, I heard you practicing." And I just want to tell you, I think we can win. I said, "I'm sure you can." He put me in my place big time. It wasn't all my fault. But he's certainly stepping it up now.
There's a lovely flow to his game.
It's amazing how much mirror images the opening 2 sets have been, because Fritz didn't win many points against Hurkacz's serve, and yet he won the set. Hurkacz only lost 6 points on his serve the entirety of the opening set, but 4 in one game. And Taylor Fritz, you know how many points he lost in the second set on his serve? 8. 4 in one game. That's it. So it's minuscule, the differences, but it's obvious to the eyes that Hurkacz is riding a wave of confidence right now and playing with a lot more freedom and especially, to your point, Todd, clarity. And that's the most important point. Fritz missed a bunch of first serves, 3 in a row to open that last service game, and Hurkacz was deep to return the serve. That worked well. I don't know why he went back to the up front position on the returns. I don't know why people change a winning strategy so often in tennis. I understand if you're playing outside and there's wind involved that it might be more advantageous on one side or the other to stand deep, and you might need to stand in to fight the breeze, but it's not the case here.
14.
He picked his pocket. Hurkacz thought he was waltzing through that passing shot, and Fritz just guessed correctly. Caught the ball on his strings perfectly. Great anticipation on this shot right here.
That's Fritz at his best.
15.
Racket just coming out of Taylor's hands. But the game not out of his hands yet.
14-13.
Got to expect somebody like Hurkacz in a big occasion to light things up. He's too good of a player. Can Fritz weather the storm? There's the reliability once again on the first serve from Hurkacz. 2-1, final set.
18 Poland is 2 games to 1.
Jim, whereas all the other staff meetings have been pretty much just about keep doing what you're doing, everything's kind of going the right way. What we expected is a different kind of conversation. It's not panic and anxiety. They obviously expected him to play well at some stage, but they are having to think a little bit more deeply into how he strategizes.
Yeah, the key here is how do you break serve? Yeah, it's been difficult for both to do it. For Fritz, he has full ownership of his game, but when Hurkacz is serving like he is, a lot of these points are not in his control.
Yeah, I don't think he feels as though he's got quite the same advantage off the ground in the ground stroke rallies that he did in the opening set.
Hurkacz's forehand has lifted. Accuracy has improved, confidence rising, swinging out at it a little bit more.
13 love.
You'd like to test it if you're Fritz, if it gets deep in this set. Because last year in the United Cup, Hurkacz trying to shut the door on Germany. His forehand wasn't able to withstand the moment.
I think that's that point there is what if Taylor can get his return back into play in the Hurkacz service game that's about to come our way. He needs to start getting quickly into the corners, not so much back cross court into the rally balls, trying to really get Hurkacz extended and going in back behind him as well. It's been a bit more of a rally ball. I think he's got to take more of a risk if he can get it back into play, and that's been the big if, isn't it? They're both serving so well.
A seamless hold of serve from Fritz, 2 apiece.
Just like that, Tub.
Well, he must have heard me. It's nice when you pick something and they come up with it straight away, but it's exactly what was needed, and he's going to try to replicate it again. I mean, you've spoken about it. He's got great tennis IQ. He feels it and sees it. Sometimes it's harder to execute, but that was perfect.
He gets another second serve to work with, so this is a real opportunity for him, and you don't know how many you're going to get. Love 15, second serve.
I feel on those second serves, though, Jimmy, he's just been a bit too aggressive. He's in too tight. He's getting beaten, but I guess he's trying to stop the ball from jumping, because this ball here really kicks high and keeps going on the up, and he's trying to take it before it gets too high, but he's getting jammed very quickly.
Hurkacz is winning a far higher percentage of second serve points than he does normally. Normally he wins about 52%. He's winning 67 tonight. And I don't like where Fritz is standing, to be honest, with his second serve return. I think he should give some ground and get back by the Sydney logo on the court. Wait for it to drop back down. If Hurkacz serves and volleys behind it, you'll see him coming. You can beat him, you can redirect. 15-30 here. A little bit of tension for Hurkacz. And he's going to have to hit a second serve here. This is where I like Fritz deep for this return. Ensure you get it back into play and then put the hard hat on. I will tell you this is one of the things about Taylor Fritz. He does not give a hoot about what any of us or anybody else thinks. He's got the joystick out there. He's playing the game and he doesn't care what we think. And frankly, good on him. He's 4 in the world. Still think there's room for a couple of suggestions here or there, but he's going just fine.
14-13.
Kid's got thick skin. There's Taylor Fritz.
Another shining example of just how well Hurkacz is playing right now. Superb forehand down the line, and it is 3-2 final set. Well, given the situation in this particular set, that forehand, the one prior to it, that was a nice little tidy up job there from Hurkacz, is again just underlining the improvement that he has made on that shot as these 10 days have unfolded. As Masouf saying in the second set, just keep taking care of your serve. You are going to get some chances. How right he is being proved by the way that Hurkacz is turning this around. There just backing up the thoughts that Taylor has and just saying you're doing absolutely the right thing, but it is going to be fascinating to see what the great separator is going to be between these two. This man's forehand has been battled, hardened into form. It certainly wasn't there in his opening couple of losses against Casper Ruud and Thomas Mahic. A bit of a groove against Billy Harris, and then Shevchenko, it was excellent.
Number 15.
Hurkacz doing his best to batten down the hatches on his side and just keep extending the point as long as possible. Hope for a mistake that just never came. Good quality ball striking and court spreading from the American.
Sensational shot.
That's a warning shot, that one.
couldn't replicate it. 3 apiece.
Jim, one of the things with Hubie's defence is he's moving better, but he's also reading the play better than what he started the week off. And that's what matches does for you. You start to anticipate where the ball's going. You see the racket work of your opponent better, so you can start to, you're glancing at that and you know what shot they're going to play from the position they are in the court. He was lacking that. And it's definitely helped his defensive game.
15 love.
I don't think you're going to win this match either, player, by being defensive at this point. It's going to be won by the person that is the more aggressive.
13 love.
Challenges for a player like Hurkacz, who has made major changes with equipment and his coaching staff, and they're trying to get him to do a few different things, is you can overdo it. And he did that early. Went far too often down the line with his forehand his first couple matches. Missed a bunch, made a ton of unforced errors, and he's playing a lot more like we're used to seeing him play. And that's working well so far.
Yeah,
sometimes incremental change is the best change.
Yeah, and he's forced Taylor to do a couple of things earlier in rallies that he didn't need to in the opening set. That backhand down the line being one of them. 4-3. Taylor trying to adapt to the new and improved version of Hubert Hurkacz, as he should. Let's take you. The agony on Taylor's face as he's trying to strive for the win. The elation on Hurkacz, who's turned this around very neatly in the last 30 minutes or so. Crowds coming in for the round-robin stages of the United Cup. Team Poland have had to stay here for all of the 10 days. Team USA flying in from west to east from Perth.
Hurkacz really covering the tee serve here. Fritz takes the bait and goes to the open space and delivers a fabulous 209K first serve. Hurkacz did well just to get this back in play. But asking Fritz to hit the lower percentage serve, that's a good idea. I like that. Tougher, of course, over the higher part of the net. Much easier to make serves down the tee when you're going big. Can't make that one, no.
15.
Hurkacz again a little closer to the center line than he would normally be here.
14-15.
Both players having to dig balls out of their backhand corner, but it's Taylor's perseverance that open up that line shot. And he nails it.
That's just an outstanding return by Hurkacz. That was an awesome serve. And he somehow got it back in play. And now, this is a real moment. Hurkacz breaks here. He gets to serve for the match. Fritz gets out the eraser.
Team United States.
Another ace to ice the game finally for Team USA. 4-all. Both players reveling in the atmosphere.
Fritz deep for this second serve return. Been waiting a long time to see that, like that move. Hurkacz didn't like it as much. Got a little twitchy on that forehand.
Class.
All about the close, wasn't it, Todd?
Yeah, and look, Hubie's a very good volleyer when it's out to the extremities. If Taylor didn't have any choice, it's often good to go hard straight at him as he comes in. Because he's got such long arms, sometimes when it's at him, he gets caught. But when he's got that room on that last volley there, you know, technically that was very nice indeed.
It looked like a desperate dive. It was anything but.
14-15.
An absolute gem of a shot. And Hurkacz shining bright under the lights here at the Ken Rosewell Arena. What a game, what a player, 5-4.
The team opponent is 5 games to 4.
It's like a soccer crowd down there, Todd, right now.
Oh, isn't it right? I mean, they've just lit up. I mean, even I got out of my seat when Hubie's gone for that stretch and picked up that little half volley. I actually think he's taken a bit of skin off his hands as the racket handle got so close to the ground. He's been putting some water on there trying to get it off. So hopefully that doesn't affect him as he comes back out. But you can see he's sort of looking at it there. The adrenaline is going to get him through here anyway, at the least. But, I mean, 20% better player than what he was a couple of days ago. It's a big turnaround.
Yeah, conservative number. It doesn't even look like the same guy.
You can see there he's just taking skin off that forefinger knuckle.
Let's just wind it back to what was one of the great shots of this year's United Cup coming up here from Hurkacz.
Yeah, it was a split save. That's what it was. Great half volley on the full stretch. Down he goes. Just scrapes his hand as he goes down on his grip there, the right hand. Took a little skin with it, but he took the point, most importantly. The skin will heal.
But how good was the shot from Fritz? We're not even giving him that. That was such a remarkable get by him in the first place to put it there. And then he was outshone by Hubie.
Yeah, hit that one behind him. Phenomenal, phenomenal shot. One of the shots of the tournament, without question.
It's a remarkable delta of difference between how he started this tournament and how he's ending it,
I think,
regardless of how this goes. He's also had a shoelace issue down there, Tom.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
They've both burned a shoelace here tonight. This is Taylor Fritz did his earlier.
And that's just giving Taylor a little bit of time.
This is like icing the kicker here. 4-5. Fritz serving in the final set here in an extended break. Both shoes off and socks. Wow. A sock change as well. This is going to take some time.
Yeah, Mohamed Laouani looking on and certainly feels as though he's delayed that about as long as he can. To be honest, Taylor just getting a little irritated because it is giving him time to contemplate the situation. Not something you want at 4-5 in the third set, any huge competition like this.
He definitely doesn't want it, but then I also think from Hubie's end of the court, I'm not sure that he'd want it either, because, you know, he's had the momentum since he managed to win this second set, and you can see there that the top of the shoe burns through the court. But, you know, equally, just to go back to his momentum, he's had it, and you just never know with Hubie. He just gets a couple of loose ones occasionally, and while he was riding high, I think it would be better for him to have kept going.
I'll tell you, this is a really interesting one, right? Because changing your shoes is one thing. Changing your socks is another. There's a rule about equipment out of order, which gives players the ability to change their shoes and things like that. But the socks might be wet, but that is a little bit lax on the rules from my perspective.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Jim.
Taylor's agreeing with you guys as well. He's not happy at all. He's up at the umpire's chair with Mohamed Laouani.
Yeah, it's the equipment out of adjustment is the rule that I think is being used here, which gives players leeway and latitude to fix whatever their problem is in this situation. Look, Hubie's a fair play guy. I don't think he's meaning to slow play this and to make Taylor feel tense, but it's had the effect of doing that, and the U.S. crowd's letting him hear it.
Hostilities resume.
Thank you. 15 love. 13 love.
Signature move from Taylor Fritz with the forehand, 5 apiece.
Yeah, I don't think Hubie's happy with his shoes, by the way. He's redoing the laces again, and there was a real sort of grimacing look upon his face.
5 games all.
That's kind of what I was saying about the distraction for his end of the court. It's taken him out of the mode that he had so well that he'd got himself into.
Well, this is a new set of shoes overall in general, but it's also new equipment for this season, so he's probably adjusting to the Adidas shoe after years of playing with Yonex shoes and apparel and rackets, so all of it takes time.
And 15 love.
Yesterday, Taylor Fritz was playing Thomas Mahac, and the backhand exchanges in that amazing match were mostly cross-court exchanges. But Hurkacz is so quick to change directions with his backhand line. Fritz is starting to do it as well to match him. Oh. Thought he might have played an out ball there, but beautifully intercepted. And Iga Swiatek wandering down the hallway, wondering if she has another match to play this evening.
Another luminous bit of skill from this man.
It wasn't applause for the fault, by the way. It was a mighty fine catch by the ball boy in the back of the court, who gave a look of absolute delight and surprise at how well he managed to keep it in his hands.
Redemption still on the menu for Hurkacz. 6-5, final set.
Team put in 6 games to 5.
He was pretty humble as ever in the press conference with Poland, saying that he'd won a little bit, but it had basically been eager that had carried them through to this particular stage. But he is doing his level best to take this United Cup into a deciding match of mixed doubles, potentially.
Don't worry about the next shot. Just fully commit to it.
Well, what do you mean, no, but like immediately? Like, well, maybe just a little bit in it right now. I need it right now.
As good as individual events are, they don't quite get the same atmosphere at times that the team competitions do. And this United Cup this year has delivered once again. And we are on a knife's edge here in terms of where this particular evening goes.
Here we go, Taylor. Let's go.
Can Fritz send us into a final set tiebreaker, or can Hurkacz, as he did in the second set, break late on?
Where Fritz's first serve delivery faltered in the second set, missed the first first serves to open the game, and his serve taken at love as a result.
Too little too late perhaps for this game for Hurkacz, but that will just give Fritz something to think about if we do end up in a final set tiebreak. Devastating once again with that forehand.
They're the best two forehands that he's hit in this United Cup. Bit of footwork up on the rise, racket head ripping through the ball and getting it in the right contact point. It's just changed for Hubie this match.
Team United States.
Tennis is a sport for adrenaline junkies. It is life on the edge.
6 games
And we are right on the edge here.
Final set tiebreak.
Hurkacz in recent times has been pretty good at this particular discipline. Final set breakers, has won 8 and lost 3 in his last 11. Taylor, who started his career on the tour unbelievably in final set breakers, winning 12 out of his first 15. This is the one thing that hasn't gone well for him in the last few years. Just 2 out of his last 11 he's won. Imposing start by Hurkacz.
1-0 Team Poland.
Pretty likely first serve percentage is going to drive the storyline here in this final set tiebreaker. And Fritz 0 for 1 pays a steep price. 0 for 2 now. Hurkacz deep for the return. Went for it. Didn't center it on the strings, and that is a let-off.
Oh, it was a very different pace second serve, though. 137. He wasn't going to miss it, was he? Fritz, he knew he had to at least make it.
Taylor spent the last couple of years cultivating his game for moments like that. Great discipline.
And 2-0. Team Poland.
Hurkacz has been covering the tee here, forcing Fritz to go for the low percentage wide. That's awesome from Fritz. Gets Coco up. And they'll change sides dead even, but Hurkacz was in that rally and threatening. And Fritz able to hold him off.
I like the word threatening, Jim, because that point was all about, as we spoke mid-match here, about changing and building that pressure, and Hurkacz put the pressure on there. But Taylor Fritz comes up with the goods. This is just so entertaining, and it's just buzzing courtside.
Ready for play, thank you.
Great response under pressure from Fritz. Bit of a gamble from Hurkacz, taking that shot inside into the Fritz forehand. Didn't pay off.
And too far away from the net to have a good chance of covering it. Didn't make it to the service line in time to cover the angle forehand. Excellent from Fritz. On serve we go. Hurkacz perfect in making first serve so far in the breaker.
Down the line on his previous forehand, couldn't repeat the trick second time around. Taylor has turned things around.
F5, 3, Team United States. F5-4, Team United States.
Fritz will step to the line with 2 serves to secure the United Cup for the United States.
Tennis doesn't always create character, but it always reveals it. And this man's character is second to none. Down a mini break in this final set tie break. He has the opportunity to claim that trophy for a second time for the USA.
6-4, Team United States.
Match points.
Set and match, Team United States. 2-1, 6-4, 5-7, 7-6.
Team USA are the 2-time United Cup champions. And they unite together in ecstasy. What a match, what a night, what a competition.